Best of r/Tales from Tech Support Episode 7. A few years ago, when I was a sysadmin at an SMB, our CEO was retiring, and he was absolutely adored by all the staff. So much so, that when retirement time came around, the company threw a huge farewell for him at a casino, rented a ballroom and a bunch of rooms in the casino hotel, and flew the staff from all around the country to attend. This guy almost seemed like a cult leader. He was held in such high regard. The venue was huge, and because there was a band, lighting, RGB chandeliers, robotic spotlights etc., AV presentations and microphones at play, the room hire came with 2 techs to run the show for the evening. They were set up with a variety of equipment, monitors, mixing desks and such, none of which I had any responsibility over. I supplied them with a couple of USB sticks of media from our side, made sure they could open the files. Everything was in hand. They had their run sheets for the night, so I went and sat down at my table. The night gets going and everyone is having a good time, getting merry and enjoying themselves. Throughout the food service, different speeches are planned and are underway. Randomly, the music from an adjoining ballroom starts playing over our room system, blaring cheesy pop and dance music in short bursts. The MC was also our divisional manager. She was obviously annoyed but had little choice but to carry on with her hosting. I went and talked with the AV techs after the speech. They advise me that there's nothing they can do. Their best guess is someone has wired up the 2 room systems incorrectly, and a channel from the DJ next door is outputting through our system. While we weren't using the system and the band was playing, everything was fine. They say they're handling it and have sent someone to see if there's anything that can be done. Not feeling overly confident at this point, but this is way out of my hands. I go back to my seat as the next presentation is scheduled, a professionally made video, interviewing staff and colleagues past and present. Very emotional stuff where people are so sad to see him go, crying in the video as they talk about what a great leader he was and how much he inspired them. And then the music starts up again, that In Blue, Abu D song, and this time it doesn't stop. You can't even hear what the people in the video are saying. The MC gets up and goes over to the AV techs, visibly very pissed off. She talks to them for a minute, and they stop the video. She gets back up on the mic with the music still playing in the background and apologizes to the room, and then her next words make my heart drop to my stomach. Is you/Crudmiller in the room? I know what she's expecting. I stand up from my table and begin to walk across the dance floor towards the AV techs, panicking that I have absolutely no way of solving this. Feeling very self-conscious as everyone is looking at me. Someone starts clapping, and suddenly the entire room is clapping and cheering, as I'm apparently about to fix this issue I have no hope in hell of fixing. This just makes it about 1000x worse. The techs look like they just want to die. They are so apologetic and reiterate to me that there's nothing that can be done to fix this from their end. I'm looking at their equipment which I have no knowledge of, pointing at some volume sliders asking super basic questions like can we mute the channel that it's coming in on? And can we switch to a local PA system as workarounds? And then the music just randomly stops. The guy they sent out to see if they can rewire or stop the DJ next door must have sorted it. I still don't know. To my company, it looks like I just walked up to these 2 AV guys, pointed at a few things and worked out the problem in less than a minute. I spent the rest of the night on edge praying that it doesn't happen again, or at least if it does while I'm outside having a smoke. And thank the powers that be I wasn't required to point at stuff cluelessly a second time that night. Thank you. Next. This story is from a few years ago. It is a tale I have told in job interviews when asked how I dealt with troublesome people. It's also going to get long, so I hope you enjoy reading. No TL. Doctor support. Working as a desk-side support tech for this $ company, we got a high volume of tickets day in and day out. Prioritizing is one of the most necessary aspects of this environment. As this story starts, I first encountered $user when her hard drive went down. We had a slew of crappy 128GB SSDs that would flat out just fail. In 90% of cases, and against regulations, we would pop these things open, take the SSD out, set it to USB it to another PC and pull the data off. This was the case here as well. No issues. The user had a peculiar situation as she was working remotely due to family member health issues. So the job had to be rushed and I had to meet her during non-shift hours. Not a big deal, I was more than happy to help. We met early in the AM at work. I had her log in, moved her data over, set up her profile, tested VPN, email, etc etc. Very standard stuff. Pleasantries ensued and I gave her my work number and sent her a follow-up email letting her know if she had any more issues. She can email me or call me. Q a week later. $user opens up another ticket, stating that her VPN is not connecting when at home. $helpdesk messages me letting me know that the $user isn't happy with me, /u/ramrom, especially, because I gave her this new laptop. For the sake of the story, I will add helpdesk and desk side are normally not allowed to talk with each other. This company sucks. So this was surprising. I open up the ticket, read whatever notes $helpdesk added. $user is of course remote and left her cell number. So I give her a call. $user states that her VPN isn't letting her connect to the Wi-Fi at her house. I explain that you can connect to your home Wi-Fi without VPN. You just won't be able to access email or intranet pages until you are on VPN. $user. Well, I have always connected to VPN before getting on my Wi-Fi, but that's apparently changed since I got this new machine. Can't get VPN without internet. Try to walk user though verifying her current connection status. So I have her check the bottom right of her taskbar for some connection info. Her connected status is not connected. Me. Okay, so if you click on the Wi-Fi bar icon. $user. Yes, it's not connected. Me. Yup, so if you click on it, list should pop up of potential Wi-Fi networks. Do you see your Wi-Fi listed on there? $user. Yes, I see it here. Me. Okay, go ahead and click on your Wi-Fi and click connect when it pops up under it. $user. Okay. Pauses okay. It wants a network. Security. Key. Me. Yup. So just put in your Wi-Fi password. $user. Say okay. Not sure if I know what it is. Typing says my network. Security. Key is incorrect. Me. Sure. May need to try it again. Do you have your password written down somewhere? $user. I don't know. My husband normally does this stuff, and he won't be home for a while. $user starts opening and closing drawers. We go around once more about how she needs to be on VPN before she can get on Wi-Fi. I explain with our VPN, it requires an internet connection prior to accessing it. She's skeptical, tries connecting to the Wi-Fi a few more times, continues checking drawers for the password. Been on the call at this point for 30 minutes, and sticking around for the off chance she guesses her password is probably not a good use of time. I tell her I'm around until 6 PM and to call me back if she can connect to her Wi-Fi or when her husband comes home. Give her my number again and we disconnect. I hear nothing the rest of the day. Didn't really think much of the issue again that night. I come in the next morning and a co-worker, $fellow it, starts talking to me. $fellow it, $user talked to you yesterday? Me. Yeah, she had a ticket opened. Couldn't get on her Wi-Fi at home. $fellow it, well, she says you gave her a bad machine. $senior it went to go look at it. Me. Wait, what? I go over to my desk and start up my PC to check the ticket. I have no missed calls. Open up my email to see multiple updates to the ticket. I start reading them. 7 PM $user writes into ticket. I spoke with an IT person who does not understand what he is doing. He told me I needed to enter in my password in order to get into Wi-Fi. He told me a process that I have never had to do before until I got this new machine. I had to log into the $company intranet from my personal PC and change my password in order to get on VPN. And now I cannot log back into my work machine. There is no way to access the company intranet page for password resets from a non-work computer. 7:30 PM $user writes into ticket. Both my sons have degrees in computer technology. One has a master's degree in computer science and my other son has a bachelor's in computer engineering. They both agree the issue is not with anything in my house but with $company VPN and the tech I spoke to. Me. Out loud. How the fuck is she even writing these ticket updates? 6 a.m. $user writes into ticket. I was able to get back into my computer but can still not access VPN. What? How? $user continues. I am going to be into work today at 9 a.m. and I demand someone be there when I arrive. I do not want the previous tech. Send someone who knows what they are doing. I have too many questions to list. On our computers, or any companic, if you change your password while remote and off VPN, you can log into the computer, but your password won't sync to the domain and you will not be able to access or use VPN. Our ticketing system cannot be accessed unless you are in the building or on VPN. $Senior it went to meet her at her desk at 9 a.m. She never shows up. He leaves her a voicemail telling her to come to the IT lab. Call him back, or in some way get a hold of him. 11:30 a.m. User writes into ticket. I am able to access VPN now. I want to thank $Senior it for his assistance today in helping me. Thanks again $Senior it. Me. Did you ever even talk to her or see her computer $Senior it? $Senior it. Nope. She never came to her desk. Me? Thank you. Next. Few year ago I was supporting a company with an open plan office. They rang up saying, "Hi, we have an entire bank of desks without network. You are responsible." Me. "Hi, okay. Sounds like there is an issue with the switch on the desk. Can you tell me what lights are on?" Client. "None, there must be a network issue. Come out immediately." Me. "Sure. Before I come to site can you just check it's plugged in please?" Client. "It's plugged in. Everything works, your network is crap. Come out right now." Hangs up. Now you all know how this ends. I just wish I could explain the look on their faces when I walked in and unplugged the extension cord from itself and into the wall socket. About as precious as their faces when I served them a £150 call out charge, which I generally waive. Big client. Thank you. Next. TL. Dr. Tickle me and I'll crash. 20 plus years ago. Me. Obvious. $SAR. System administrator. $SAR. NSFW. $Me. What up? $SAR. Ever since upgrading to new OS, we have some unexplained crashes. Whenever we go there, all is fine. Tickets are soaring about this one. $Me. Any similarities in hardware? Software? $SAR. Haven't really checked yet. After making a list of systems, pull up the hardware configs. We have. All of them have an Maple CD player of a certain model. Let's build one like that and test the hell out of it. Opening programs, running loads of programs at the same time. Nothing seems to make this thing crash. Back to the drawing board. Looking at the list again. Notice all of the build dates are similar. Aha. Let's see if we have another one of that series in stock. We have. Same story. Testing until the cows come home. Nothing. Thinking deeply, I fiddle with the open/close button on the CD player a few times. $system. BSOD crash. Wait, what? Reset system. Let Windows NT4 grab itself together, which takes time on this old system. $me. Fiddle. $system. BSOD crash. Result. Okay, let's do a post-mortem. Somehow, opening/closing the drawer fast a few times on this Pose CD player with Pose buggy firmware combines into an instant hardware crash in new OS. I show my findings to $SAR. $SAR starts laughing hysterically. $me. I take it we can't update the firmware on these CD players? $SAR. Nope. $me. Alrighty. Where's your screwdriver? We have some hardware swaps to do. Marking each and every buggy firmware, Apple, CD player with do not use with, new OS, and swapping them into systems that were never going to, new OS. You know, the 486S, took care of this problem. Thank you. Next. One day I walked into my office building, up the stairs to my office where I was the first to arrive. I stuck my key in the lock and turned the key. The lights went out. That was unusual. I looked out the hallway window and noticed that all the lights were out. Given that I was first in, I thought to make my way to the central server room to see what was happening there. Nobody else around. Heard of VAs churning away, UPS screaming in the corner. Sun servers still going and the NetWare servers and network still appeared to be up. I did notice that the VAs didn't seem to be shutting down and the power indicator on the UPS was draining pretty fast. I looked around for someone to call, since I was in the PC support team, rather than central services. Phoned the shift supervisor who told me in no uncertain terms that I should let it crash. I phoned the head of networking, who said exactly the same, as did the Sun systems manager. Each of them was insistent that I'll let it all crash. At the rate that the UPS was beeping and draining, that was going to be sooner rather than later. At that point Jim comes in. He's the head of operations. I tell him what I've been told by the heads of 2 departments as well as his most experienced operator, the shift supervisor who's also second in charge. Jim ignores the advice and commences the shutdown process on the VAX cluster. If you're not familiar with servers and clusters, they take some time to actually shut down in an orderly fashion. Can be as quick as 10 minutes, or as long as an hour. Either way, 4 minutes was all he got. At that point the room went silent. A few hours later, power was restored and the process of turning everything back on could commence. The NetWare servers powered right up, did some disk housekeeping and were ready to go in about 15 minutes or so. The Sun cluster took a bit longer, an hour if I recall. It had much more disk attached and it needed to deal with loads of backlogged Usenet news as well as all organizational email. The VAs took a little longer. They wouldn't start up because one of the first things that happens when you shut down a VAX is that it sets a flag for all processes that it's in the shutdown phase, so that no new processes are started. This part of the shutdown was completed in the 4 minutes of power remaining, just before the UPS died. Normally that flag is the last thing that's removed when shutdown is completed, so you can turn it back on again. It took 8 days, involved getting deck engineers and lots of hard work. During this time, payroll, accounting, business systems and all other essential services were unavailable. Had it crashed, there would have been some file corruption, but the VAX file system is versioned, so rollback is essentially built in. Had a $4 cable been installed between the UPS and the VAX, there would have been enough time for the VAX to shut itself down once the UPS told it that it was running on battery. Had the diesel generators been tested regularly, they would have started up within a minute and run for 12 hours. Much egg on face. Moral of the story, don't stick your key in the lock early in the morning and let a VAX cluster crash if it's running on a UPS that's dying. Thank you. Next. Just a short one. I was browsing tickets that have been assigned to my department when I saw something with a fairly simple description, the kind of thing that the tier 1 service desk is supposed to be able to handle. So of course I'm curious as to what's outstanding, and I have a look. It's a really simple problem based on a miscommunication between the client and the service desk team member, and I'm able to sort the problem out, but I do a double take when I see the work notes added by the service desk. No idea how to fix this one. Tried the common fixes we have on file, but didn't get anywhere. Escalating to IT ops for assassination. Thank you. Next. A tale from my time working sound and lighting for a university dance show. Apologies if my title caused anyone to twitch and reach for their Leatherman. I was part of a volunteer duo working sound and lights for a university dance show, all medical students, doing extracurricular performing arts. It's the night of final dress. The dancers have practiced. The sociopathic choreographers have finally been reined in from making last-minute changes to costumes. The director's housemate who is around for some inexplicable reason has been given a menial task elsewhere so we can get the actual work done. The backstage crew has sobered up. The stage has been built. Alas. Calamity. The crew building the stage had muddy trainers. They swept the stage. However, there was still a fine layer of muddy dust which would ruin the costumes. So they mopped the stage. We'll take 10-15 minutes to dry, then we can crack on. Problem solved. Nope. Not solved. Not one bit. The director promptly burst into tears and screamed that a 15-minute delay would ruin the whole show. Enter the director's housemate again. Housemate, you have to point all the lights at the stage to warm it up and dry it. We can't have a delay like this. Me. That's not a great option. We're using LED paths so they really don't put out much heat at all. Plus it's not that long a delay, compared to javing to refocus. Housemate, why are tech always so useless? Just do what I say. Me, that really isn't feasible. We were here till 3 AM getting the lights focused, and it'll take a long bloody time to fix if we move them all now, versus 15 minutes just for the stage to dry. And, as I said, fear LED fixtures. They don't give off enough heat to dry the stage unless we set fire to them. Following rehearsals, which of course ended at 4 AM, I drank heavily and reflected on what life decisions led to these situations.